Hey guys, John Luxley here. So this time we're doing something a little bit different. Subnautica, if I could talk properly, I've actually played through before. Have about probably 150 hours, give or take. And I feel like I've seen just about everything in the game. So this is going to be more of a walkthrough, but I hope you guys still enjoy it. So let's dive in. We're going to go with survival mode. So there's a few different options here. If you have played the game, great. If not, actually recommend it. It's probably one of my current favorite games of all time. Maybe even just straight up favorites of all time. So you got survival, which is your normal, your freedom, like survival without hunger or thirst. I honestly don't know why you'd do that. It's easy enough to get food and water. Hardcore, only one life, no O2 alerts. I kind of want to try that, but not for this. The game is kind of glitchy at times, and so I worry that I will fall through the floor or get stuck or something like that. So hardcore mode is out, and then creative is just like straight up, no death, no nothing, and all you do is build. So we'll do survival. Game is a little bit... So they keep coming out with patches, which is good. I think on the latest one, they fixed a lot of the... Oh, come on, Manny. Not now. I just fed you, like, a little bit ago. They came out with, like, a patch, and this one had the, it faded in stuff. Because in this game, one of the issues is the, not necessarily the draw distance, but the pop-in. So I've actually, there's one of the files in the game that changes like some of the chunks in the display and stuff like that. And that, so I've changed some of those so that it renders a little bit farther out. And so hopefully that doesn't affect the frame rate too much. But if you see any frame rate drops, normally it's a stable 60. But if you see any drops, that's why. So let's continue. If you haven't played the game before, guys, welcome. And I really hope you enjoy this tour.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so the cutscene's over. We're kind of in the pod that's ejected, things on fire. You're basically like, hey, what do you do? It kind of tells you, move around, good work. Then you see the fire extinguisher. I think it was, probably told you to pick it up there. I don't honestly remember. So this is your main interface of the game. It's your actual little PDA.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
So it gives you kind of bare stuff. It's like, oh, corresponding slot. You can actually press your use item to get rid of that. There's some other stuff you can do. You can actually drag and drop this, although you can't drag and drop batteries for whatever reason. So you have some tabs. blueprints with the basic stuff, beacon manager, so that when you're out on the map, it'll you'll know where your things are, or at least what direction. Photo manager if you want to take screenshots. A voice log, which is kind of nice if you want to replay some of the little story bits, so to speak. And then your actual databank. So this is kind of nice. It basically tells you straight up. It's like, hey, you're here, and now you have to survive. So figure it out. We got our little you have your O2 meter, your health, your food, and your water. You'll notice those have, well, I think I just saw this one drop. So you do need to eat and drink fairly regularly, but that's not too much of an issue. So, blueprints. Basically, you can read all this stuff. Additional technical, start here. So we'll start here. Okay. If you are reading this, then you have survived an emergency evacuation of a capital class ship equipped with Altera technology. Congratulations, the hard part is over. Your PDA has automatically rebooted in emergency mode. This operating system has one directive: to keep you alive on a hostile alien world. If that is not possible, it will alert salvage teams to the location of your remains. It features full monitoring of vital signs for timely survival advice, such as, you're running out of oxygen, blueprints for fabricating a range of essential survival equipment tailored to your environment, onboard camera, microphone, and OCR technology for short-range situational analysis, and cross-compatibility with all Altera-compliant products. Your personal and work files have been encrypted and may be retrieved at a later date by a licensed engineer. And, been drinking a little bit of Jameson's, and that's run out, so we might have to get more in a minute. Okay, survival checklist. Administer first aid if required. We're at 81, so take inventory of available materials and supplies, decide on rations. Survey the environment for threats and resources. Construct necessary survival equipment using the LifePod's fabricator. This is a big thing. Fabricator is essential. Check LifePod for damage, repair as necessary. Broadcast local distress signal using LifePod's short-range radio. Locate other survivors using line of sight or the radio. Find or construct a more permanent habitat. Maintain physical and psychological health until rescue. This information is meant as a general guide. In the first instance, you should always follow the advice of your PDA, which has taken your particular circumstance into account. And then the database is corrupted. Damage to your PDA's hard drive has corrupted approximately 80% of stored survival blueprints. Blueprints may be reacquired by scanning a salvage technology using the handheld scanner, or by downloading plans from a shipboard databox. In the circumstances, these assets will most likely be found amongst wreckage from the Aurora. So at least it's kind of aware of the situation. Okay, yeah, we've lost food and water. It used to be like at 46, 45, something like that. So, our pod is damaged. You can see there's some sparks. Damaged secondary systems. Use repair tool. Fabricator works. We have the power up at the top, 75. Damaged radio as well. And the radio is actually going to be our big guide, so to speak. It's what gives us the little breadcrumbs and other things to progress the story, at least at first. One of the reasons I do love this game so much is because, the radio kind of gives you little, I don't know, I guess I'd call it like breadcrumbs to follow. It's like, hey, you may want to check over here, or you may want to do this or do that. So it's not like a little quest marker. Go here. I mean, so it is, but it doesn't tell you, like, it's giving you your next goal. I don't know. It leaves it up to you. You don't have to do it to actually progress the story, or progress, period. You may have noticed the medical kit fabricator has a little counter over it. It's actually generating medical kits. So we grabbed one to start with. Treated bandages applied to staunch blood flow and sanitize wounds. We won't use that just yet. I like to have one on me just in case. Additionally, we have a storage container. which has a couple of flares, disposable light source, some filtered water, and nutrient block. I will probably read the rest of the stuff in the databank, just not just yet. And this is your status for your pod. So we have the warning, because it's, these are damaged. Circuitry test has failed. Secondary systems are offline. Radio is offline. Distress signal broadcasts. Well, it didn't do that because the radio is down. Flotation device is deployed. Hull integrity okay. So what the secondary systems actually control, aside from smoke, it's not really sure. And you have your little power cells here. And that's they have just the 75. I do recommend at least repairing this before you save and quit, because I've come across a glitch a couple times where it auto repairs the pod and it's not, I don't know, it just seems janky. Like, I don't know if you get the actual stuff. Like, because when you fix it, it gives you like a survey and some other little, like lore entries basically. So you have a couple different means of escape. You have the ladder up at the top, and then the hatch at the bottom. Both of them give you different. The first time you go at them, gives you a different little cutscene each time. So let's. I don't know. It's hard for me to choose which I like the best, but this one gives you a view. So we'll do this first. Okay, so there's the Aurora.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Right, so at this point we're basically the only survivor. Now the Aurora is totally intact. This will eat something. Yeah, yep. This will actually change at some point, but right now if you wanted, you could actually swim or get over there and go around to the front of the ship. Like, that's all totally intact. Later, from about here, that'll get blown off. But you don't want to go out there yet because this area is actually super dangerous. So we'll... Yep, and the sun's kind of setting. There's a day-night cycle. Let's see if we can grab some fish real fast. Excuse me. Okay, let's grab...
New creature discovered.
Yep.
Alien life forms may have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy. New creature discovered.
Yeah, sorry if I'm sniffling a bit. My allergies are kicking my ass right now. So...
New creature discovered.
Oh, yep. See, our oxygen's also running out.
Oxygen.
Permadeath mode, or hardcore mode, it won't break. Yeah, break. Oh, break the limestone. You can't really see it.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
So basically all I've picked up so far are fish, which is handy because when they are uneaten, I mean, if you haven't cooked them or anything, they will just get it. There we go.
Creature discovered.
Yep. Swimming. Okay. Let's grab you. Right, like I was saying, the fish, there is like a time aspect in this that cooked stuff will deteriorate in your inventory. I think it's like the only thing that actually does. But you can actually cure it if you find salt, and that'll give you like a permanent cooked food that you just have, kind of like the nutrient blocks, which you could always just eat. But in the meantime, let's see, we have 9 options, right? The first is water, which is filtered water, which you get from the bladderfish. It's non-vegetarian, of course. So we'll utilize that. because we're going to need water eventually. Cooked Gary Flish. Gary Flish? Yeah.
It is common for those accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for millennia. You can too.
It gives you a little bit of food and a little bit of water. Okay, so you eat it and you're kind of topped off, and then take a little bit of water. Now your health does regenerate. It's not regenerating now. It's very slow, and I think you have to be maxed out on the food, or at least semi-maxed out to do it. And these are all just, you know, with salt. You can cure them. Yeah, peeper. Yeah, protein-rich eyeballs, highly nutritious, which means it gives you a lot of food. Low calorie count. Anything that talks about calories or nutrition means it's either going to give you a not very much food or a lot of food. Like this doesn't give you very much. The boomerang, good eating around the fins. That's kind of medium, I think. 21. That's about what you can expect. And then we'll cook both peepers.
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Now, if you've noticed, your health can actually go above, or I'm sorry, your food can actually go above 100 as long as you're not at 100. So if you're at 99 and you eat something else, it'll boost you above that. And I think that's where your health starts to regenerate. See, we're already at 82. That's bouncing up and down. So that'll probably start to regenerate. We got metal salvage as well. You can
increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core sustained during Planetfall.
Okay, and the little plus, it's like, hey, there's something new. So it unlocked a blueprint because you got the bladderfish. It gives you the air bladder. We probably won't use it too much, if at all. But the first thing you want to do is make a standard O2 tank. It takes 3 titanium, so if you grab some of the metal salvage that's lying around, that'll convert into 4 titanium, and then you can just make a standard O2 tank. Now notice we have 43, or 45. You know, I haven't even drank that much. That's the sad thing. That gives you about an extra 30 seconds of oxygen, give or take. So that's handy, and we're up to 84. So that will, 85. There you go. That'll heal over time. Next thing, and equipment. Now that you did that, you can take your standard O2 tank and convert it into a high capacity, which we definitely want to do. But we'll do that in a minute, or soon. In the meantime, basically my recommendation, if you're playing the game for the first time, is just go through all this and learn what all this stuff is. So like mobile vehicle bay you can't make yet for the deployables. Sea glide you can't make yet. Waterproof locker you can. It's just a little storage area. It's like holds 16 little squares. It's like you go over here, and it's about, I guess it's half of one of these. So. All right, so we've gone out the top. Let's go out the bottom. All right, so the sun is coming up, which is good. Now, where we started, our little pod, that's not the same every time. You always start in the safe shallows, which is like here with all these fish and coral and everything else. We're going to want to pick up a couple of these. And that's peeper and a Gary fish. Now you'll notice, so this is basically east. You have, that's kind of fog. Yeah, see, this cloud's moving. That cloud is not. This cloud is moving right here. Those clouds are moving. This one is not. There's nothing over there. Those hide something. Let's just put it that way. So we got more metal salvage right there, but I'm not looking for that at the moment. Limestone is good, because I need copper. Copper is what I need. I also need... Well, let's kind of look around for a minute. there's okay. So there's another biome over there. This game is kind of like, so it's a 2,000 by 2,000 kilometer square, but it's not a full square. Like the edges, it's not all the way to the edge. The map, I mean, I don't know what happens if you hit the actual edge of the map. It's probably an invisible wall, or maybe it just keeps going. Oh, I skipped the tools, didn't I? Yeah, I need a scanner. Okay, battery and titanium. Cool. Battery, you need copper and this stuff. But the actual map itself is kind of almost like a target. Okay. That's a crashfish egg. Crashfish are little bastards that... they're basically suicide bombers of the fish world. We may see some down here. We may not. You're gonna need a bunch of quartz. Just straight up. Okay. So there might not be any in here. Or titanium. There definitely will be some in there. That's actually kind of handy. That's a giant coral tube with tons of resources in it. Oh, and there it is right there. So you can see it. It's all along there. Awesome. Okay. So the, it's got like the target, so to speak, the map is like a, an area in the middle, and then it has two rings around it. And those get progressively more difficult. Glass. We don't need that just yet. We need a battery, though. Okay. Right. So by making a battery, you can then make a power cell, which is for vehicles. But we need glass, titanium, silver ore. If I can find silver ore, I can get more oxygen. This is the big thing. Your oxygen is probably the biggest thing you need. Okay, so we're gonna make a scanner.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
Yep. It is the big thing. So this is kind of, what do I have, 66? Do I have any water? No. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I mean, I will in a second, but I'm going to make glass for the time being. Because glass lets you make some cool stuff. Wait, hang on. No, okay, I don't need any of that. Fire extinguisher, you'll need those, but you can probably find enough. Pipe, transport breathable air, and a floating air pump. So you can actually build like a little air pump somewhere on the surface, and then, a string of pipes out to wherever you're hanging around. Like if I want to hang around down here for a bit, you can build a pipe or air pump on the surface, and then chain pipes down here. I've never actually done it. Okay, so I'm just gonna start scanning everything, right? Okay, ready to scan. So we'll scan you. Okay. Yep, and we're gonna kind of go through the game as if, we're playing it for the first time, but right now come on, you. I'm gonna, wow, this guy's like evasive maneuvers and stuff. I'm gonna kind of avoid scanning for just a second. I will read the stuff to you, though. Guys, don't worry. Okay, back down. So this is a little cargo box, and I'll get back to the discussion of the rings of the map in a second. So this is a sea glide frag. All the little cargo boxes, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have goodies. So you scan technology that your blueprints have missed or been damaged and that you don't have. And then you, what? Oh, sure, okay. And that either gives you blueprints, or it, if you already have the blueprint, then it just straight up gives you, like, 2 titanium. All right, okay. We're gonna take another one of those because, just in case, I'll probably get hit by a crash fish. So, you know, as far as the map, so three rings basically. I mean, that's if you're looking top down. There's actually different levels because, you know, it's a 3D area. But we'll get to that. We basically started somewhere in the middle. There's random. Your position is random, randomish, and I don't have enough for that or that. But I can make a flashlight, which is going to be handy. Now you'll notice it's battery powered. This is too. It doesn't tell you though. And I'm actually going to move this here and this there. Why? I don't know. That's the way I do it. But, pull this up, right? Flashlight, charge 100%, charge 98%. So, your scanner does have some battery. It will run out eventually. But you don't really have to worry about that right now. So, yeah, you start in the middle of the map somewhere, in a place called the Safe Shallows. The ring just outside of that, and some places in the middle also have there's a couple other locations, and those aren't very dangerous. And then the outer ring though is, generally speaking, fairly dangerous. Generally, I mean, you know, it's like anything else. The farther you go from your starting position, the more dangerous it becomes. Alright, so with our you know, new oxygen and stuff, we can kind of start exploring a little bit. What I am looking for is, surprisingly enough, the crash fish. So if you look, I'm going to surface real fast so you don't... Because when you use your PDA, it's not like... It's not the menu. Like you'll notice... I mean, hell, we were losing health and or whatever during that time. But it's still... Stuff still happens. It's like you're actually using a PDA. So these are all the tools we have access to, but we can't make all of them at the moment. Habitat Builder... That's, you know, later. Early, but later. End of early phase, when you start moving out from your life pod and start actually building a base. Repair tool is your sort of immediate goal. And you can notice we need cell phone. I can't talk. Silicone rubber, cave sulfur, titanium. Silicone rubber, we don't know what causes that yet. Typically you make the scanner and just start scanning everything, and then you'll find out that it's the seeds of a vine that grows underwater. That gives you your silicone rubber. Cave sulfur, in caves where crashfish live, and hence, you know, their explosive capabilities. But after they're gone, either they explode, and then you go take the sulfur from the plant. Something else, you can really see the cloud in the background. It's white far more clearly than you can like right now. See? Normal background, white. Almost like it's hiding something, and you can see this a lot better too. Yep, and that's also white. And anything over here? No. Okay, so let's see if we can find some caves and some sulfur. Yep. And don't worry, guys, I will read all the stuff. There's one. You can see the little guy. You can see his eye right in the middle there. It's like a little black plant with petals, and that thing is just waiting to frickin' pop out and myrtleize you. So we're gonna... There he is. Where? Well, okay. That actually worked out pretty well. He was kind of caught on the cave wall right there. Don't worry, though. I'm sure there's more. And we'll just scan the sulfur plant. You don't really get an option to scan the crash fish to start with.
30 seconds.
Oh, geez, already? Okay. Yes, I could have just grabbed the sulfur, but I kind of prefer not to die. Death is actually not bad of a... doesn't have much of an impact. You just kind of... So whenever you enter or exit your pod, there we go, sulfur.
Detecting sulfur deposits
Yeah.
in the local cave systems. Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
Yeah, so it's kind of hitting you over the head a little bit, saying, hey, you need the repair tool. You should look around. Which is good, honestly, because, you know, it's not a perfect game. But it does a good job. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. I think I was saying something, but that's not important. And you can even see the smoke coming out of the pod, which is awesome. Right, okay, so we need silicone rubber. So it kind of makes you look around and you're like, what the F? We can see some kelp in the distance. Now, without the little changes I made, I doubt we'd be able to see that from here. Let's go check that out. And yep, there's a bunch of little guys. And we'll just, you know, we're just kind of swimming. But there is a... Yep. So, right now those, the green things, probably the most dangerous thing you're going to come across immediately. Oh, well, I just messed that up, didn't I? Yep, okay. Every little... Okay, we got the sea glide.
30 seconds. New
Yep.
blueprint acquired.
So the gasomorphs, as they're called, they shoot, yep, those little things out of their butts, and those explode. And they kind of poison the area, so if you go through them, you'll take damage. They're in the safe shallows. They're not too dangerous. Pretty much everything in the safe shallows is generally friendly, and you can actually go up to those little gas modules and grab them if you wanted. Now we're kind of in the second ring, the middle ring, if you will. You can see a stalker right there in the middle. Those are more territorial, and they will attack you on sight. Or not as on sight as much as once you get close to them. Okay, he is... Oh, there we go. Okay, see, yep, there it is. They're not bad. They're not real bad. I'm gonna scan it, though.
Life on this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
Okay, come on. There we go. Okay. Some of them take a while to scan. But we'll head to the surface right now, get some more oxygen. Right. Yeah, I'm kind of jumping around a lot. The every tool that you create when you first pull it out for the first time, it has its own little animation that it plays. And they always, your character Riley always seems to point it at themselves.
New blueprint acquired.
And unfortunately, we'll scan the creep find and then we'll scan the seeds. Right, because even though they're on the same plant, they're technically two different things. And even if you scanned it, it wouldn't give you the blueprint, because we picked it up and it's like, hey, you can make silicone rubber out of this, which is awesome. That's what we need. But unless you picked it up, you wouldn't know that. So that's my recommendation. Is generally pick up everything you can at least once. Yeah, so the kelp forest that we were just in is one of the middle ring things. Also, what's the other one? The grassy plateaus. And those are both generally pretty safe. They do, I mean, they have some threats, just like this first thing has a threat, which would be the gas pods, but that's fine. Okay, you can, from the the creepvine seeds, you can make lubricant, which you'll need for like vehicles and stuff. But we want the silicone rubber first. We need a couple things out of that. We don't need copper wire yet. Deployables, you can still make that. We know how to make the Sea Glide, and see, you need lubricant for it. But we'll pass on that just for now. Reason is, fins. Takes 2 silicone rubbers, so one of those seeds will do this. And it makes you move faster.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Yep. Alright, survival knife. Multifunctional, it is. Super handy.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
And there's some background with the knife that I won't get into. Basically, one of the reasons, one of the devs. Oh, okay, I guess I will get into it. I haven't read all the devs like Twitters and stuff, but one of them cited one of the school shootings.
Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
Yeah, one of the devs cited the lack of weapons in the game, except for the knife and some other things, as a reason to take out weapons. Seems like most of the other devs don't necessarily share that view. It's more because it makes it a better game, which I agree with. And then you have the repair tool, which we can also make. Boom. Okay, so let me show you kind of the initial animations of some of this stuff. So you pull out the knife. Okay, cool. And then we're going to switch to the repair tool. Yep, because you always either shine it on yourself or whatever. Okay, so we're just going to repair this.
Lifepod secondary systems online. Running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Alright, so now the lights are on. There's no smoke, except for that, the radio. We got some of this. Outgoing radio communication offline. Incoming is online, though. Fair enough. And so you get a little environmental scan. Environment, uncharted ocean, planet 4546 Bravo. Oxygen, nitrogen, atmosphere, waterborne bacteria levels are high. Well, that's, there's a self-scan function. You gotta hold it down.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. Continuing to monitor.
Okay. So, bunch of voice logs. It's like, hey, these are all new. You don't... I mean, you can go back and listen to them. It also shows you what day you're on. Okay. So we've read these. Additional technical tell you about your stuff. Geological data. This is one that we just got, the environmental scan, right? Extensive biodiversity. May support, this is safety warnings, it may support Leviathan-class predators. It does. It does. So if you have, one of the reasons I picked this game up is because, you know, underwater games kind of scare me a little bit. Just the concept. Basilophobia, I believe it's called, where it's like you're afraid of what's hidden, you know, what lies beneath, so to speak. These things, the Leviathan-class predators, kind of terrifying. Kind of terrifying, just a little bit. I still recommend it because of that, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's not real, but it feels real. So water is contaminated with high levels of foreign bacteria, and planet is beyond Federation space. Rescue is unlikely. It is not recommended to explore this environment without hazardous material suits and extensive support apparatus. Yeah, we don't have either of those at the moment. But There's our fins and our new little items. We are going to need water. Drink one of those real fast. Let's go get some fish. And at the moment... See, part of the reason safe shallows are awesome... man, you were right there. Okay. Oh, yep, there's a stalker. So what they kind of do is they just grab metal and they just swim around. They like to play with it. Supposedly if you have metal in your hand, they'll grab that instead of you and just leave you alone. Scan that and gives you titanium. Cool. Grab. Yep, okay. Oh, come on. There you go. More titanium. Copper. We're just gonna need a bunch of copper. That's why I'm kind of, still doing that. Going for all that stuff. What do I have? Boomerang and a peeper. That should be fine. I will need bladderfish. And a little glitch is when you go above the surface in quick succession, whatever. It has something where it like bugs out the sound for whatever reason. Okay, hoverfish.
Discovered.
Salt. Why is salt handy? Well, you can make water out of it. I know that seems counterintuitive. I can't hack this, can I? No. I cannot. So what you can actually do, and we'll get to that point. I have scanned this, I believe. Yeah. So you grab some salt, and then you grab some coral, take it back to the fabricator, it makes bleach. And then you take that bleach, and you make 2 bottles of water. So these guys are worth 20. When you stick them in the fabricator, they give you 20 water. You can also low-fat reptilian flesh. Yeah, why not?
Consider disguising the flavor of unsavory meat with salt or locally sourced herbs and spices.
We'll go with the peeper. Yeah, so the bleach gives you... so these are worth 20, like the little small bottles. Bleach gives you 2 bottles that are worth 30 apiece. So it's huge. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. Right, so bleach. Sanitizing applications. As far as I know, the only use for bleach...
Bleach is an essential chemical used for cleaning wounds and purifying water.
I think the only use for it, honestly, is disinfected water. It gives you 2 waters.
Preparing the day's water ration ahead of time will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death.
Yep. Right. Well, let's make a copper wire. This next thing we want is the Sea Glide. Mobile vehicle bay we don't know about. So we need lubricant and a battery. And yes, I realize the radio is still not repaired. Like it's been 40-something minutes. Okay. Right. Well, you can scan. We'll scan all that in a minute. Okay. We will make a Sea Glide. That is my goal for right now. Okay, kelp. Let's go get it. Yeah, so whenever you see little boxes like that, that one I think I've already cleared out, but Yeah, definitely make sure you take a peek. Additionally, so I have the knife.
New blueprint acquired.
And you can actually eat it if you need, like if you're that hungry for food. If you're on the verge of running out and there's creepvine around, definitely do so. Oh, there we go, okay. Mobile vehicle bay fragment. You need 3 of them. You can usually find them in little boxes like that, just around, or... okay, here's some seeds. Let's get some air first. Yeah, or if you find wrecks. Yeah, it was the seeds I needed. I was like, why do I need this? So those are little cargo boxes, and then you have the actual... I saw one somewhere. The stuff the stalkers like, the little metal salvage. You can find giant chunks of ship. Usually with like whole rooms. And, you know, just hanging around. And they'll have typically a lot of fragments in them, so you'll be able to scan, you know, like battery chargers or other like base building components, whatever you need. Oh, hang on, let's check out this box real fast. Sea Glide. That's fine, we can always use more titanium. Especially once you start getting into the base building aspect. That takes a lot of titanium, because it's like... it's what you use for everything. Okay. Okay, so basic materials, fiber mesh, right? You can use that to make, actually that's what we want, I believe. Creepvine material makes fiber mesh. You can use the fiber mesh to make med packs, if you absolutely need one.
Lubricant is essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
Yep. They are correct. Tools. Picking up the, for whatever reason, I don't think it's the creepvine seed cluster that does it. It's the actual creepvine, which gives you the Pathfinder tool blueprint. Never actually used it, so we'll use it this time. I want to show you guys everything. Flare, habitat builder. Yeah, don't worry. Equipment, it's not here yet. There will be a rebreather at some point. And, right, deployables. Sea Glide, bam.
The Sea Glide will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to stop here. I will repair the radio the next time. The radio kind of sets off a chain of events because, you know, it'll give you one location. It'll be like, oh, check out this this crashed life pod. So, you know, spoilers, you're the only survivor. No one else made it. Well, until the DLC, perhaps. Or expansion, whatever you want to call it. But, so you repair the radio, and then it's like, oh, hey, life pod, whatever, has a distress call. You go find the crashed life pod, and it gives you something. And then it's like, hey, there's another distress call. And so the more you explore and the more things you get, the more it progresses the story, and eventually it sends you to some area where, with the sunbeam, which we'll see a little bit later. But all right. Anyway, guys, seriously, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully, this is a little bit different. I'm going to try and do all sorts of different stuff. I'm not just going to do, even though I've only done 2 blind playthroughs so far. I'm going to try and do a bunch of stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy. As always, any feedback, please let me know. And I hope to see you guys next time. All right, guys. Take care.